Okay, we've got a great week of practice. I was really impressed by the way our kids practice this week. I don't think it's ever easy getting the team prepared after an emotional win like we had last week against Tennessee, but I don't expect any letdown. Our guys are locked in. Caleb Ellaby, their quarterback, the more tape I watched, and you get into third down on Wednesday night, the more and more impressed you get with that young man. I think he's a talented kid. He's not a scrambler like we faced last week, but he's a kid that knows what to do with the ball. He's smart, which is typical of a Tim Lester type quarterback because he's a really smart guy. So I've been really impressed with him. He does some great things on tape. He's nifty. I mean, you think he's sacked, and all of a sudden he flips the ball out to the tailback in 2-minute drills. It's like, I think I've been very impressed with him. And they got obviously Sky Moore in the receiver core. They've gotten impressive group of guys that are coming in here. So we better be ready. It's interesting how the coaching reins go around. I went back and watched some Tim Lester offense at Syracuse. Back in 2015, seeing Juan Price play out there and all our guys. Jordan Whitehead was a freshman. It's just funny to go back and watch those. But I look at, how similar they are, okay, to what they're doing now. And obviously, Tim's, fingerprints are all over the offense, even though he's, working a little bit on defense right now. But they've got the system in, and I expect to see a lot of different stuff than what we saw. I go back and watch that tape. I'm seeing the same formations. I'm seeing some of the same formations, but they make it an empty set, so I expect to see a lot of empty. So we practice a lot of different things. It's kind of like an opener. I don't think they did much at Illinois State last week. I think they did what they did at Michigan in the opener, and I look to see a lot of things, and we're going to have to make some adjustments on defense and I'm sure on offense. We've seen, they started off Michigan in a 3-man front, then they went to a 4-man front. What are they going to do to stop our passing game? I expect to see them, playing some Tampa too, and dropping 8 defenders and trying to, get in windows of Kenny and those receivers. So it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting challenge for us. Questions?
You mentioned Ellaby. How difficult is it when it's such a veteran guy at quarterback making those RPO decisions and in terms of discipline that you need on defense?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's him making decisions, but it's also them making decisions. Unlike, their quarterback, unlike our quarterback, Kenny's making all the decisions. He's got to read a coverage. He's seen it all, okay? What you're going to see is, clapping, looking to the sideline and then find out, hey, which side of the field do I want to work? So am I, running an RPO here looking at this star linebacker, or am I running it here and I'm looking at maybe the boundary safety, for example? So, he comes down to the box, he'd like to hit a skinny post behind him. So there's all those things, but I think he's getting a lot of information from the sideline, from the press box. I think that's their system. That's what it appears to be on tape, which they didn't do at Syracuse. But I don't think they're going to come out and run an RPO all day on us either. So it'll be interesting. We're prepared for a lot of everything.
Western Michigan is hitting 50% of the third downs right now, and like you said, it's not. They don't have a mobile quarterback. They're not afraid to run the RPO. Yeah. Do you guys get more aggressive this week? You think with the way that you go after quarterbacks, or what kind of keys are you guys reading?
Well, if we were going to get more aggressive, I would tell you today, okay? I think, we're going to keep doing what we do and then see what works. Like I said, he's just so accurate, and you talk about 50%. I mean, he's, in our breakdown, in our 5-game breakdown we got him on third and medium being 70%. I mean, there's 70% win on third down. I mean, they're winning 70% of third and mediums, which is a lot. And again, it goes to, you got a smart quarterback, you got a smart offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, you got a smart people in the press box, and they're trying to put themselves, they're going to use every second of the clock. It's going to be almost a total opposite of what we saw last week. There'll be some fastballs in third short, red zone, maybe after big play, but it's going to be the total opposite of what we saw last week. They're going to be looking to the sideline and trying to find out exactly where he's going, and he's smart enough to do it, and they do a nice job with their system.
So what's the communication like on defense to not show what you're doing too early as they're hanging out at the line?
There's not a whole lot you can do. We can sit back and we can all hang out, like 10 yards off the line of scrimmage, Jeff, but like you gotta get lined up. I mean, they're gonna get lined up on the line of scrimmage, and we'll do what we do on that. There's not really a whole game plan. We gotta be ready to play. You gotta be ready for if they're gonna snap or not, or it's gonna be a clap, look to the sideline, then come back, and then clap, look to the sideline again. I mean, they'll go some double claps. So they'll do a little bit of both. So you got to be prepared when they get lined up. You got to be lined up. So there's not much disguising that you can do.
He obviously took the head job at Western Michigan, but how close were you to hiring Lester as offensive coordinator in 17?
You know, he was a guy I talked to. It was, you know, he took that job way before I hired anybody. But he was a guy that, you know, we talked to. You know, I've had, you know, great knowledge of him. I think he's really smart and intelligent, and you can see that by the way they play. So, you know, there was no decisions being made. That was like early. It was, you know, he never came on campus, but it was a convention. You know, how do you do?
But he said he interviewed, asked 2 hours, and then the next 2 hours you guys just talk ball the rest of the time.
Yeah,
Is that what happens in job interviews?
yeah, especially at the convention. That's what you do. Talk ball.
On Monday, you said tackling and special teams would be emphasis this week. How do you think you guys did this week with those?
I think our defense was good in tackling. Special teams, I think, you know, we got things cleaned up. And again, you know, it's not like these major, I mean, it wasn't like there was like all these major issues. You know, we missed a block on the punt team versus a good player. And, you know, sometimes I blame that on the way we practice, that tempo, and you try not to kill guys during tempo period or during special teams periods. But so our rock guys gave a lot better look. You know, I told them I need them coming every snap. Don't let those, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the punt team should be pissed at you because you gave them too good of a look and it made it hard on them. Don't brother-in-law, as I call it sometimes. You know, take care of your brother-in-law. You know, make it hard on them. And I think we got that. And again, it came down to decision making. Sometimes, you know, kickoff return and a young guy, and I trust Jalen Barton. Next time he gets in that situation, we'll do a lot better too. And he's going to have opportunities.
You said this week that you had a good week of practice. What are you looking for in a good week of practice after a win like that?
Execution, focus. You know, sometimes guys, you know, patting their, you know, hey, great job. That was a great game last week. Everybody's patting you on the back all week. And it comes down to focus and execution. I mean, if you start to see guys not focusing, and, hey, why did you do that? Then you go, okay, where's your head? Where's your mind? But I think our kids' minds are in a good spot right now. So, and again, it's just execution. I mean, work hard. I mean, you know, and the guy never really complained about how hard they work. Our kids work hard. They give us everything they got on that field.
How are Vince, Izzy, and the backs handling this week as well? Still, everyone's kind of just on call, ready to go at the drop of a hat. How have you seen them kind of continue to take that heading into week 3?
They've had a good week of practice. Izzy was a little hampered on Wednesday, but it was great today, and so you know we're good. They've done a nice job, and again, we need to see some explosive runs. So that's, you know, something I'm going to challenge them with is, you know, we got to get some explosive runs going.
Because it's so early in the season, you guys still have a lot to prove. Do you do less patting on the back than you might do later on in the season?
I never pat anybody on the back. I mean, I'm always like, I'm the grumpy old man, you know. I don't believe in, you know, they hear enough of the good stuff. I give them the bad stuff, and just the way I like to do it. And again, I think that's something coaches end up doing is, you know, unfortunately we focus more on like what do we need to do to get better as opposed to all the nice things, you know. So there's no patting on the back. It's, you know, that's your job. You know, your job is to go make plays. You know, like nobody has to tell you about it. The fans will tell you. You guys will tell them. You guys will tell them when they're good and tell them when they're bad. And I'm sure the people on campus are, you know, talking to the good guys. And maybe if somebody didn't play so good, they ain't talking to them in class. The nice thing is our guys are going to class this week.
You talked about explosive runs on Saturday. Were there chances for explosive runs and missed reads or anything like that?
No, I think the reads were pretty good. I think our reads were pretty good. It's just a, you know, stout defense, and you know, we've got some different things in this week, which will be interesting. And I think, you know, if we can block them, and again, it's a different defensive line than some of those beasts that we were last week. And these guys are good. They play hard, and they're tough. So.
I was going to say, when it comes to those explosive runs, how much of it is on the backs, how much of it is the line, and then how much of it is like the timing of the play call?
And the tight ends, don't forget the tight ends.
Yeah.
And we got to still, you know, we still got to do a great job. It's a little bit of both. Play calling, you know, we're going tempo, so we're not trying to slow it down, look for the perfect look. We're not staring at the sideline, looking to put us in a perfect, you know. Kenny's got ways to get out of bad plays, so we've given him that ability. And, you know, it's a little bit of everything. It's, you know, when you're going fast, sometimes you're not looking to the sideline to check out of something bad. And, you know, we expect to see a lot of field pressure from these guys, so we're going to get our pressure, and we got to do a good job of putting ourselves in good positions.
Obviously, Brandon had a big game last week. What did you see from the other safeties, Eric and Rashad?
You know, both of them played well. I mean, you know, Eric, you know, I don't want to say missed a tackle on the one, you know, bubble that went for a touchdown, but, you know, corner, A.J. Woods got to turn it back to him. But I thought Hallett played well. We know Brandon Hill did, and Rashad Battle, I think, got 7 snaps and was good. We'd like to get him a lot more this week. And then, for some of those young guys, just you get scared when it's a fast tempo and they're snapping the ball in 10 seconds. That was fast last week, wasn't it? Did you guys see? It was pretty fast. Jerry, did you blink? You missed a play.
That's right.
And
glued to the TV.
And you got to put them toothpicks in those eyelids and make sure you don't have a problem. But it was fast. So this one will be a little bit different, a little slower down, and we'd like to get PJ O'Brien in there as well. PJ couldn't play in that fast tempo last week, but he's he can play in tempo, but not like blazing fast, and that's what we saw last week.
I haven't looked up his number of snaps yet, but will MJ get more snaps this week?
I haven't looked at the snaps either, but MJ's playing really well. MJ, I consider MJ a starter. MJ Devonshire is a starter. It's Quez, Mathis, and MJ. Those are our 3 guys right now. Those are the top 3 that are playing at a high level, and we trust them. I mean, MJ had a PI the other day, which was probably whatever. But the receiver had him by the neck and had his shirt pulled down. So they said he grabbed his wrist, but he just actually was trying to get his wrist off his jersey. But his jersey, I mean, you thought he had a big V-neck like down here on some of the clips I saw. So it's MJ's playing good. I trust MJ out there, and I know our secondary and defense coaches do too.
How do you feel about your guys with those kind of penalties? Because you brought up that one and the push that you felt that Brandon Hill kind of did at the last second. Do you think you guys handled those, responded to those kind of calls that you felt were questionable?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be those every game. I mean, our officials do a great job, and we know that's going to happen, but we just got to try to take care of it.
We saw Ben hitting from 56 in pregame warmups. Obviously, warmups is a little bit different than in game, but where do you feel his range is? After putting him out there for 56 in the game.
His range is 60. I mean, he can hit them. You guys saw that. We didn't give him a fair shot, so I truly don't put that on him. Again, it goes just into the special teams issues of guys being locked in. I think our guys early in that game got caught up and looking around like this. That storm I told you they were going to run into. And, even the opening kickoff, it's like, kickoff! Like, look at the coin toss, see who's out there. Okay, we're going to kick the ball. Okay, that means kickoff returns up. And, you're screaming to get guys just to get up on the kickoff return team. And same thing is we had a field goal there. And obviously Lucas was either on, I don't know if he was on the field the previous snap. And we don't have a guy out there, so we're rushing it. And I didn't want to bust a timeout, and I thought they'd get it off. And certainly didn't want to, be stuck with one timeout in the second half. And, that's a special teams error. It's just another one of those little things we got to clean up. And guys got to be locked in. You come off the field, you got your helmet off, all of a sudden, oh, really, field goal? I thought we were going to punt it. And he's not on punt, but he didn't know his field goal. So as you come off the field, find out what team we're going with. Be zero. I mean, you got to be laser focused. And so, we'll get that this week. We focused on it even more. Ben
made a couple of tackles as well. Do you hope for him not to have to do that, but do you also appreciate him sticking his head in there?
You know what? I mean, 2 kickers, and then you go back and watch, were busting their tails. When you talk about effort, and I talk a lot about effort, is Ben Sauls and his tackling ability. He did a great job. And, if you watch on that field goal, okay, my man Chris Dulu was on the other side. I didn't know if he knew how to tackle or run. Okay, Australian punters. Now, he did play that Australian-style football, which he showed us a video during his senior talk of what it was like. I was like, there's no way you play that. That's some tough football there. But he was on the other hash, on the other side, because he had started to chase when they started returning it. And he came down. If you go back and watch that tape, my man, Chris Dulu, I think he was running a 4.8, which is pretty good for him. He had humped his tail down the field. Yeah, that was impressive to watch him run. And he was running by some guys, too. That was fun to watch, too.
Haba had some big plays the other day. What are you looking to see from the other defensive ends?
Yeah, I mean, Haba did play well. Obviously, Deslin was great to get him back out there. And I think, we were just talking personnel, and Coach Partridge brought up a great point, and you kind of forget about it. Deslin was out for, a few weeks just with practice, and Deslin's brought up the intensity in that room just because he's back full-time, ready to go. And Haba had a great day, and everybody talks about Keyshawn's strip turnover and recovery. I mean, Haba had one just like it. So Haba's been playing well, and then John Morgan continues to give us quality reps, and Dayon Hayes is just little by little keeps getting reps. So I just think it's just game reps. I mean you can practice all you want, but once you get that opportunity in the game, that's where you have to get it done. It takes time. It's not something that you just click. You can have a great athlete. It's just game reps and being game ready.
Coach, thank you.
Anybody else got anything else?
You didn't coach against Lester, did you? Northern Illinois?